Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Heel Harry. I am here with my co-host Big Ty. We're going to talk about this weekend wrestling. We're also going to talk about a potential mega match set for this year's WrestleMania. Sasha. She's back in the news, so hopefully we can never speak of her again after this this evening. We're going to talk about Riddle's dirty urine. Mandy Rose is also in the news. Can't wait to talk about that story. We got Vinnie Mac doing Vinnie Mac-like things. Triple H has second thoughts. And then Mia Yim, she's got herself into a pickle via Twitter. All that and more. Sit back, relax, get yourself a drink, and if you happen to like what you hear, consider hitting that subscribe button. Anyway, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are here.
We are.
And boy, do we have a week. I don't want to make bold claims, but I think this is going to be one of the better weeks that we've had. It's going to be the best show in history this week. History.
Okay. I'll make
we got
history.
some good stories.
I don't mind making history.
We got some good stories. We got some good Smackdowns. Raw's also there.
Raw wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad.
It was better. I'll give it that. But it was very wrestle heavy.
Okay.
It
What's
was like, oh, it was just here goes our next match and another match, another banger. I'll need your bangers.
What, do you just want to dive into it then?
Yeah, we could dive into it. Let's talk about Raw.
Okay. Let's talk about Raw. Let's talk about Raw.
So
Start
we
off.
open.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Tell me
You
why it
go.
was bad.
I don't even have it.
You don't have it.
No. So go ahead.
All right. So we start off with right off the bat. We have Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. We have Becky Lynch. She comes out before the match starts, and she happens to single-handedly take out the tag team champions while Bayley just kind of stands there and watches. Bianca Belair finally comes out wearing really dumb glasses, and she's just making faces.
Just being the EST. That's all.
Yeah. They went for Isla Dawn finish, where took the little middle turnbuckle off, but instead of actually following through with it, Belair snitched. Snitches get stitches. Bliss hits the Sparkle Splash for the win. At the end of the match, she was crying. Bayley's done. I don't know why anybody would be interested in her character at this point, right?
More L's for damage control.
Well, for Bayley, I don't know about damage control.
Well, she's a part of it.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
And they're teasing, or they not teasing, but they advertise next week that Bayley's going to take on Becky Lynch. Gee, I wonder who's getting the L there.
Right.
I wonder who's going to win that match.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. Why is she there at this point? It's just like all she does is lose. Anyway.
Yeah, she has been mishandled
horribly. And what's worse is she keeps getting like title opportunities. Like, at what point do I don't what universe does a loser keep getting, a shot at number one?
In WWE universe.
Okay.
That's a Vinnie Mac special. You lose yourself into a title match.
Mm-hmm. So after the match, Bayley, Alexa Bliss, she's pretending to cry, which I was about to shit on, but Belair, she gets in the ring, she does the little champion stare down thing, and they go to shake hands, but Bliss wants to hug instead, and then Bliss teases Sister Abigail, which that was the only interesting thing of the fucking match.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this all ever since I saw it on Monday, like all week. I'm like, man, it's really interesting. It's really cool. Unfortunately, the player involved is Alexa Bliss, who is not a good wrestler. So, I don't know. I like the
Well,
story. I don't like the character.
this is building a character, so hopefully that'll take her out of the ring and she can just be the character. I know, it's wrestling, but hopefully
It was
she'll be
wrestling,
doing
yeah.
less of that. Um, there, I did like the whole thing. You got the Wyatt logo flashing on the Titantron, and then that sends her into a trance.
Yeah, it was really well done. I liked.
Um,
I popped up as soon as that happened because I mean I was about to just set it and forget it as far as the rest of the match was concerned.
yeah, the match was pretty underwhelming. I didn't see the beginning, but I do know there was um, heard it through the grapevine, aka Twitter, that there was a spot like a botched Hurricane Rana that looked pretty scary or something, where Bliss landed on her head,
Huh.
something like that.
I must have
Um,
missed it. I don't remember.
but she
I,
escaped injury on that.
there was a big
There
botch on
was,
SmackDown, but I don't
oh yeah, we'll get into that one.
remember. Okay.
We'll save our botch for there, but
Okay.
um,
But no, I don't remember. Um, yeah, I don't remember a botched Hurricane. I'm not saying that I disagree with you or anything. I just don't remember.
yeah, and again, I didn't see it, but that's what I saw on Twitter. Um, there was, and again, I loved the whole thing about it, except for one thing, and
Okay.
it is this is just a little nitpick, but Bianca Belair looked like an idiot.
Oh my
Let me tell
god.
you why.
Oh.
Let me tell you why.
Oh,
Okay,
there's something
so
specific. I thought the whole
yes,
package, man.
no, um, okay, so like you said, she goes out there, she does the championship thing, she wants to shake hands, and then the Wyatt logo flashes, and Alexa Bliss gets her into the first steps of Sister Abigail,
Uh huh.
right? Great. The problem with I have with this is Alexa Bliss did no offensive move to get her into that position, and Bianca Belair is just like about to get. She's about to receive the move off of no offense done to her, like not a punch, not a kick in the stomach, nothing. She's just laying there like, oh, what's about to happen? And then, and then they stay there for a couple of seconds, and she's still not fighting back whatsoever. That was
What?
my one little nitpick of it. Like she didn't, she didn't try to get out of it whatsoever.
We don't think the shock of the moment, like like they were in war games together, so you know they're thick as thieves now, and you go in for an embrace after congratulating her on a hard fought match, and then all of a sudden she just attacks you and then
I
lets
don't
you
know.
go.
Think you fight it a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could be shocked. Like afterwards, she was showing that shock. Like, what the hell just happened? But you're just sitting there, and Alexa Bliss is staring into the hard camera, and you're just like, "Oh, what are you about to do to me?"
well, you know
Well,
it's they don't respond to pressure that well sometimes, you know.
well, Bianca Belair knows how to respond to pressure. She has that in her genes. If you get my drift.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't see it with her.
But that was just my one little nitpick of that whole thing was she just sat there like an idiot about to get Sister Abigail. Outside of that, I do like where the story. I don't even know where the story's going, but I like where it's teasing. I like that there is a story.
I just
As you know,
wish.
I am story heavy.
Right, you're all sports entertainment. I get it. Um, I
Yes.
just wish that, like, I like the story. I really do. I like the little nuggets and stuff. Especially the Monday thing. I think that the 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 flashing of the Wyatt logo and then her going into that little attack mode, going basically a Manchurian Candidate. I just wish it was somebody better. Like, bring in Alba Fire. She's a Scottish warrior.
But it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense for Alexa Bliss to fucking have a championship match.
We're not
She's only.
talking about the match. We're talking about the Wyatt thing.
It don't make any sense with that either.
It
Didn't
does.
she
What are
die?
you talking about? No,
I thought one of them died.
no.
Oh.
I mean, Wyatt got burnt, but she did a seance in the middle of a pentagram to bring him back. So she resurrected him,
Oh, okay. Makes
and
sense.
while she was sitting in the middle of a pentagram.
Well, what happened?
Come on, man. What are you talking about?
So she wrestled Randy Orton. Didn't she have that black sludge on her face and then? Or no, that was
Yeah, that
when
was
he
at
wrestled the
WrestleMania.
Fiend.
That's when the Fiend came back,
Okay,
and then got beat off with one RKO.
of course.
You know, he got set on fire and got resurrected like Jason, but then got beat by one RKO.
It wasn't that like
But
the last. So what happened? Did she just like slowly turn back, or did she one day she just come back as Sparkle Splash?
um, she went. She she kept that phase going for a while.
Okay.
Um, Actually, people kind of got upset at that.
Because
She dropped the gimmick.
Wyatt's gone, and then she.
They basically stole Wyatt's gimmick and gave it to her. Yeah,
Oh, I mean,
like he's gone, but she's still doing the gimmick. Like that's what people were upset at. Um, it kind of got dropped when Vince McMahon left, I would say. She was also off TV for a while, and then she's been slowly changing back into the goddess, and then now she's
slowly
the
changing
goddess
it
with,
back.
yeah,
Okay. Stupid.
because now Bray's back. So when Bray left, she was gonna drop the gimmick, but now he's back, so gimmick's back.
I don't
At least
know.
to finish the story.
I just wish that they would pick somebody better, like Alba Fire.
Sure.
Based off the one match that I saw of hers, she's got it.
Sure.
What are you assuring me? You don't think she's better than Bliss?
Can she play the character? I don't know.
Can she play
If it
the
was in a,
character?
if she was doing a wrestling match, yes, obviously she's better than Bliss. I'm talking about, we're talking about characters here. We're talking about sitting in the middle of a pentagram,
So,
and we're talking about, we're talking about doing the thing where he's like, want to see a magic trick, and then making her tongue grow as long as her body. That's what we're talking about here. Bliss played that character great, and it had
basically
nothing to do with her wrestling. As a matter of fact, it made it better because she wasn't wrestling.
fair, I
Like
guess, on
as
that
soon as she
point.
started wrestling, then it was like, you know,
Here's
I
my
mean,
thing though.
she didn't really ever wrestle until the Randy Orton thing.
Here's my thing though. They I can tell that they're playing a character instead of like being genuine.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. JBL, he happens to be on screen right now. Um, I could tell that that's kind of him, you know. Like, does he? I mean, does he drive a limo with Longhorn on the fucking hood and shit? No, but I can tell he's an asshole, or he can be an asshole. Ric Flair, he's the embodiment of kind of living what he is on
Playing.
screen. Stone Cold.
Well, no, he became what he was on screen.
Okay, fair enough. Either way,
um, but yeah, Stone Cold kind of alluded to that. He said the best characters are just like a embellishment of you, of who you really are.
yeah.
Like, be you cranked up to 10.
So I mean that I can tell that Alexa Bliss isn't like a goth girl, you know?
I don't know. She's dating that emo,
What emo?
or she's married to that emo punk rock singer. She probably wears eye makeup. Ryan Cabrera or something like that. I don't
I have no idea who that is.
know. Looks like he should be a part of Blink 182.
Psst.
He does punk rock or that kind of Blink 182 crap. So, he wears eye makeup, probably has his fingernails painted, but he's
Psst.
stretching out Alexa Bliss, so guess it works out for
Well, you can have her.
him. He wins. It's like, it's the guy who looks most like a bitch that gets the best one,
Yeah.
as Dave Chappelle used to say, or and the Rick James, or no, that was the Prince one. He's talking about it was the guys who look most like the bitch gets the hottest woman.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the Prince one.
Yeah,
Then he took us inside and made us pancakes.
yeah.
All right, so your your dick is all hard for this. My dick is semi flaccid. Next we have Styles versus Gable. Now this wasn't on the version of Raw that I saw. I'm sure it was a good match. I guess Styles won.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
It was a good match and Styles won. There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I bet it was good. I've never been a big fan of Styles though. That phenomenal forearm shit just kind of bugs me. I don't know why. That and his hair. He's always fucking with his hair. He's more worried about his hair than getting his ass whooped. Like if I get
Yeah, he
punched in
needs
the
to do the short hair thing.
huh?
I said he needs to do the short hair thing,
Yeah.
as in have short hair.
Or like put it in a ponytail or something. Like if you get punched in the face, like the first thing you're gonna do is grab your face. You're not gonna pull your hair out of your eyes, you know?
Yeah, but it's also that's just a wrestling thing. A lot of the people got the long hair. Remember, Shawn Michaels always used to flip his hair around.
Well, I also remember he had it tied back too.
Sometimes, yeah.
In the little
But
elf in that little elf style.
but when he was deep into the match, that hair was out.
Well, that's not his fault.
I know he's wrestled his hair out, but
But he didn't like mess with his hair every 2 seconds though. He
well,
didn't
it's
do.
because he had it tied back.
He exactly. That's my point.
But he did at some points. Like he'd go for Sweet Chin Music and put his hair behind his ear. It's just, I mean, if you have long hair, it's
But he
just
didn't do
something
it
you
throughout the
do.
match. That's not my point. Doing it, I wouldn't be bringing it up if he did it every once in a while. But he throws a punch, flips his hair back, does a little spinny flip move, flips his hair back, gets kicked in the balls, flips his hair back.
Okay.
Anyway, after that we have the Judgment Day versus Street Profits. I think that was Street Profits. I get them mixed up with Hit Row because they all wear basketball jerseys and they're all generic. Um, I skipped it because I don't give a fuck. I guess the Judgment Day one.
Yeah. This was actually a triple threat match.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not important to the story really. Dominic and Judgment Day, or Dominic was with uh, Priest and Balor, and then you had Akira Tozawa, who's now we're supposed to be taking him serious because he's dropped the ninja gimmick, and um, he was with
The Street Profits.
the Street Profits. Yeah,
That makes
I
no
don't know why I
sense.
was stuck on the OC. Well, because they came out and helped him last week when he was
Oh,
getting beat up.
okay.
So
He was there last week. I don't even remember that.
yeah, he wrestled. You skipped it, but he wrestled Dom.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
but yeah, just another match.
cool.
No, actually, the Street Profits won.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see. I guess I assumed Judgment Day won.
No,
I
yeah,
don't see
Street
why.
Profits run off.
Okay. Well, good for them.
Um, I will say, you say they're generic. Montez Ford is primed to be a breakout, and he may have just as good as Frog Splash. I wouldn't say better, but it's up there with RVD's.
Okay.
I
Maybe. I
wouldn't
don't
say it's
know.
better,
I,
but
I just know that they all kind of look the same. Like
well, I know they all look alike to you.
yeah. Um, no, they all like wear those fucking basketball jerseys, and they both have a unnecessarily attractive valet then that gets in the shit, and I don't know. I guess the only differentiation is the big guy. Although I think they'd trade him. We'll get we'll get there.
Tease number two. Anticipation slowly building to the moment.
But am I wrong? Don't they like have similar looks, or am I blinded?
um, I mean they are kind of similar, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Um, but yeah, only Top Dollar wears the basketball jersey, but his is all
Oh,
money, as opposed to the Street Profits. They
I feel like
pay
they're
homage to whatever. It's always like a homage to like a sports team,
okay.
the color scheme, but it's still a street. It's the same jersey, but they changed the colors to match. I don't know if it's always. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't know if it's always like the team of the city they're in.
I always
Um,
feel like they're wearing blue.
no, like a couple weeks ago they were wearing. Well, they were wearing blue, but they were wearing Knicks.
Okay,
They did the Mets one time.
okay,
They did Chicago Bulls. That's red,
yeah.
so it always changes. They did the Lakers.
All right. Either way,
But yeah, Street Profits won. Um, Whatever.
next we have Candice LeRae and Io Sky. This also wasn't on the version that I saw. Um, Sky won clean with a moonsault. She probably would have been fun to watch, but not against Candice LeRae. Glad I missed it.
um, this match was underwhelming, I would say. Number one, the crowd wasn't into it at all, and they had a much better match at Takeover. So
Okay.
I knew this wasn't gonna get close to that. So seeing what they can live up to, this was definitely an underwhelming match.
Okay.
But um, Sky won. She's slowly turning into the breakout of Damage Control.
Oh
If
yeah, the
not
only thing I
like,
don't like about her is she does this weird little crane kick on the apron. It's just dumb.
don't know what you mean there, but
I'll find a clip if I remember. All right, so we have Elias backstage with, or was Kevin Owens backstage first? I can't remember.
It
It
was
was Kevin Owens,
Kevin Owens, yeah.
and then Elias approached him, asked him if he can have his back against Sakoa Joe. Uh, Kevin Owens gives an awful promo and essentially just says no, go to hell. He brings up the feud they had. Was it 6 weeks ago? He gave the specific time frame.
Um, it, it was every week. First of all, I would say I disagreed with that. I thought it was a great promo,
Okay.
um, because it was a callback to the hell that that whole thing was going. Kevin Owens was going through because everybody was playing that it was Ezekiel and Elias were two different people, except for Kevin Owens. He was the only one that knew. So for weeks he was tormented by no one admitting
I get that, but
that.
he just the execution, like I don't know, it's just very just bad. I didn't. It was. I don't know. It's
I
hard to
guess
describe.
I didn't pay that close attention because I was laughing at it because he was like, "Really? You want me to have your back after all you put me through?"
Okay, fair enough.
I was laughing at it, so I didn't pay that close attention to it. But
Yeah, like I got what
yeah,
they were
for
doing. I
months
mean
it
that
went on.
it was clever, but just I don't know. I just didn't like the delivery. I guess.
There you
Um. So we get to Elias versus Sakoa Joe. I skipped the Elias concert. Any thoughts on that?
go. No, I mean there is a thought on it, but
The concert?
yeah.
Okay. I mean,
So
now's
there
the
was a
time, bud.
there was a point where he said, "I'm going to," or uh, this concert's dedicated to Riddle, because he
Oh.
wanted to do this concert together. And he said, and he left me some lyrics, and I'm gonna sing the lyrics. Okay. He takes out a piece of paper that's rolled into a point to where it looks like a joint, and then uh, he like he holds it out, and it looks like a joint, and then he slowly, grabs the bottom and rolls it out to a full piece of paper. And I'm and I'm thinking, so here they are,
Yeah.
what we know about Riddle,
We'll get to
and
that.
they're making and they're making these type of jokes still.
Yeah, yeah. That's bad taste. That's well, we'll get to it.
But yeah, that's the only takeaway I had from that.
I didn't even. Yeah, okay, so I skipped the concert, so I didn't even see that. But yeah, I
Other
probably would have
thing, I
thought the same
guess,
thing.
the quickest note on it. I'm not gonna I don't care what the lyrics were. The first half of it was uninterrupted. So there was some difference because usually he, like, right at the start he gets interrupted, but he got like through the first half of the song before he
Okay.
got interrupted. So there's that too. But I don't know.
Well, good for
I'm
him.
overanalyzing it.
So then the match happens. Well, Sakoa Joe comes out. First thing I noticed is Sammy didn't cut his hair. They made a big deal about it, and he still looked like a homeless bum.
He did. He cleaned up for Friday though.
He did. Well, yeah. Um, I like the thing that Sakoa Joe does when, like, he'll start off beating the shit out of somebody, and then, like, his opponent will get him, like, one bit of offense, like, and then he'll get out of the ring, and then he'll immediately grab a chair and just lose his shit. I
It's
like,
like, yeah, I ain't putting up with this shit.
right, right. Oh, you want to hit me? I think it's a mistake to have Joe miss that top rope maneuver. I think it was a mistake having him attempt that top rope maneuver. He should have just beat the fuck out of Elias and show that he's just a big badass enforcer. Like, it doesn't have to be a competitive match or a good match every Monday if you're telling a story.
Yeah, and Elias is a certified jobber, so
Exactly.
definitely could have skipped this match or been like a 2-minute match or something. I don't know how long it went, but
Well,
and it did seem like it was kind of quick. But Elias did get too much offense.
he got too much offense, and Sokoa Joe, of all people, shouldn't need Sammy to help him win. And that kind of happened, too.
Against Elias.
Yeah. I mean, well, he didn't help him win, but he interfered. And it's just like, why? I don't know. I didn't like that. But then you get the spinning solo for the win. Then you get a beatdown post-match. He basically tried to do the same thing he did to Riddle with the chair thing. After, I think he did hit a Samoan spike, right?
Yeah, he did a Samoan spike, and then he dragged him over to do what he was going to do to Riddle.
Okay.
Out comes Kevin Owens for the save. And then did he stun Solo?
Yeah, he stunned Solo.
Yeah, but Solo didn't go down. He landed on his feet outside of the ring.
No. He went down. He just didn't stay down.
Oh.
He was stunned. He rolled out because I had to watch it again because he got up real quick. I'm like, he didn't fucking sell that stunner at all. But no, he got stunned. He rolled out and he's down, and then like he basically immediately gets up and then he's ready to go. It's like that's the stunner. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, do finishers not mean anything?
Well, now I thought he didn't even go down, which, I just thought they're using it as building him as a monster.
Right.
Oh, well, you're gonna need to stun him like 3 times to beat him, or something.
That would have made sense. But no, he just did a really shitty job at selling it. To be honest with you, or somebody gave him bad. Somebody no, he sold it for he was stunned. He rolled out. He laid down for a couple seconds, and then like he immediately gets up and is like ready. Like, he doesn't sell it after that. Go watch it. It's bad.
I believe you. I don't think I need to watch it again.
I do like that he's keeping the Samoan spike, at least when he's trying to do the post-match beatdowns.
Yeah.
I do also like that Kevin Owens came out without music. That's a big...
nice little touch there.
Yeah, that's one of those things you can't unnotice when you notice it. Because it's like, if a surprise beatdown after a match is happening and then somebody goes out spontaneously to help them, like, that means somebody knows that they're going out and they have to have their finger on the button, and just for the music and then the pyro and just, I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. It doesn't need, like, it's more a WWE thing, oh, put the music out so they can get their pop.
Yeah,
but
it's just,
it doesn't. He can still get a pop without the music once the fans notice. Oh, someone's running out.
And that's
who is it?
Well, and that's what they used to do. I don't remember. Like when the Nation of Domination would come out, they need their little theme music every time.
Yeah, and also if someone's getting their ass beat and you're running out to save them, your music shouldn't have time to be going off. And
hey, you better make sure you get my pyro correctly. Gotta do my foot stomp head twist.
Yeah. You don't need all that.
But yeah, that's all I have for that. Anything else on Sokoa Joe and Elias?
No.
Okay.
Elias is a jobber. That's it.
Elias is a jobber. It's weird though. He's got like a unique look. You'd think that they would be able to do something a little bit more with him.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do with him though, but
Well, no, not now, obviously. All
yeah,
right,
they missed the iron.
they did. Moving on, we gotta have Asuka versus Ripley. Um, Speaking of the foot stomp head twist, I really hate when Ripley does that. I don't know why. It just bugs the shit out of me.
That's her entrance, and she does it to the music. And she just
I hate it. I hate it. It's dumb.
because she's badass.
She ain't
That's why
badass.
she's badass. Um,
Um, they called out the Asuka, the Kana thing on the commentators.
they did. I didn't
Yeah,
hear it,
they
but I did notice she didn't have any face paint on.
well they said that, oh, she's been acting really strange on social media and talking about her. Well, basically the pictures of her makeup. So that's good. That means that there's a legitimate shot of her actually turning to Kana, which I wasn't enthusiastic because I was on the same boat as you did last week when you didn't know anything about Kana. But after looking it up, ooh yeah, that's some good
um,
shit. If they let her like be a little crazy.
oh well, there is more to that. Apparently she's in Japan right now
Oh, is she?
to continue that whole thing. Yeah, I
Okay.
saw it on social media. She talked about she arrived in Japan and she's looking for something she's missing or something like that. So
Gotcha.
they're continuing that. I'm sure that'll be mentioned.
Um, and you did allude to it. She didn't have makeup on, so she didn't look like a circus freak.
Not
Um,
only did she have makeup on, she wasn't dancing.
no, she was very serious, and actually, it was really awesome. Just serious and somber, and just focused. She kind of looked like
Yeah,
an anime character. It was great. Still didn't help. Riptide for the win.
I mean it is Rhea Ripley.
It is Rhea Ripley. I thought it was
Yeah,
better
you
than.
ain't going in there and beating the modern day China.
I did think it was better
And
than their
that's not
first
only me
match.
that's saying that too.
Well, that's okay.
I was just the
You and
first.
other people can be wrong. It's being wrong isn't exclusive to just one person.
Sure.
Okay, so I thought this was better than their first match, and I also thought Dominique sold the mist really well. And yeah, Asuka is a fox, with or without the makeup.
There you go. Um, yeah, I don't have anything really to add to that match.
Okay.
Again, just it went how it would have you would have thought. I am excited to see where they're going with this Asuka change.
Oh, I did like that Asuka put up more of a fight. She wasn't kind of. I don't know. I felt like the first one, obviously, it was a showcase of Ripley getting back in the ring, but um, this one seemed a little bit more back and forth.
Yeah. Um, y there is also something that is brilliant about this change. She hasn't said a fucking word, not one word.
No,
Like, yeah, she's written captions on social media, but she hasn't grabbed the mic once. But this she's and without that, she's still creating all this interest in what's happening.
I think it's amazing how people notice. You know that she's that popular that somebody would notice something. You know, or that people would care.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine like Santino Marella when he was at his peak, doing like little pictures of him in makeup? Nobody would give a shit.
Yeah. It's
He
like,
wore a
oh,
dress. Nobody gave a shit.
Okay. I said yes.
All I'm saying, all I'm saying is Santino Marella is the most worthless piece of shit. His mom should have swallowed. No. After that, we get a Ziggler promo backstage. He puts over the U.S. title belt. Says Theory is arrogant and undeserving of the title belt. And basically says to watch his back. So I don't know if he's setting up something or what. It's kind of weird because Seth Rollins has a date with him.
Yeah. There was no Mustafa either.
There was no
Which is
Mustafa,
weird.
thankfully.
Like, this guy just ruined your title match. You'd think at least there would be a mention of him in some way.
Nope,
But there
nope.
wasn't at all.
I think Mustafa realizes that he's just not going to win this one. The only thing about Ziggler is I'll say is at least he's different. He's been gone for a minute.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he's different. That's it. After this, we get our main event: Bobby Lashley versus Seth freaking Rollins.
For the United States Championship.
Yeah, does that look like the best belt of the current belts right now?
Mm, yeah, yeah, I guess you could say that.
I mean, it's not saying much. That's like picking the turd that smells the least. But I'd say of the current belts right now, I think the U.S. title belt is the best looking one.
Yeah, I mean the IC title's kind of growing on me a little bit,
I don't know,
but
man. I just can't get over the circle. It's a circle. And it's just so I don't know. It's so plain.
well, yeah, it's also different though.
The U.S.
But
title belt has an eagle that's been stretched too far.
a big eagle, gigantic eagle,
Yeah.
it's a
I
very
mean,
stoic title.
so I
It
think
looks most like a championship. I'll say that.
the Intercontinental belt.
No, the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it looks. I should say it looks the most like a prize, as opposed to just something they're selling for a toy on shopwwe.com.
Yeah. Well,
Not
I know I
sponsored.
don't like the world title belts. I think they're lazy.
They're the same, just different straps.
Yeah, and it's
Or
just the
just different
logo.
colored straps.
Like, oh, your company's logo. It's really used all your brain muscles for this one. At least the
Yeah.
Intercontinental and U.S. title belts, there's some creativity involved.
Yeah, there's that.
And what the fuck's with the women's tag team titles? Why are they all white and shit? They look drastically different from all the other belts.
I guess that's why. So they can be different.
Okay, it's weird. I didn't mean to go on a tangent like that. It's the match was a match. I thought they had a really awful ref bump, and then they did that spot where Lashley goes for the spear and he pedigrees him. Then Lashley gets fired.
Well, Seth actually pinned him off with a spear. I did like that part. Because usually the spear, I'm sorry, the
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 pedigree.
pedigree. Because usually the pedigree's just been as a close, excuse me, as a close count. But this time it actually won the match. And I think the pedigree is a move that should be winning the match. So
Okay.
I did like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's just that they've done it before. Maybe not as a finish like that, but they've done that spot.
Well, they do it. I'm sure. I I would argue that they do it every single match that they have together, but
Maybe
at some
it's
point
just
that happens. Lashley goes for a spear, it gets countered into a pedigree.
I don't know. It's just lazy. They could have done something better.
Um,
It's Seth freaking Rollins. He's the main event. And blah 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 blah. So I mean, come on.
well, you also have to remember WWE is not for the. Maybe they're turning into it more, but they're not for the hardcore fan. So they kind of cater to the fan that they know is not watching every week. So yes, we see the
The,
same spot all the time,
the
but
fans that like mouthpiece McFingerbang.
yeah, the well, no, those are the hardcore
Oh,
fans.
okay. If you say
But
so.
the fans that are casual, they just watch it when it's on. Maybe they'll sit and watch the match, and then that's the first time for them seeing that spot. But it has been done a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, Seth wins. Lashley gets fired. He got unfired, but
Did he get on fire?
yeah, so I think it was Thursday or so. Adam Pierce went to social media and said that he basically lost his cool. So Lashley's unfired, and they're gonna figure something out.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is like, I don't know where we're going with this. Um, it was pretty interesting because it was like, whoa, because usually when someone gets fired, it's because they're leaving the company. So when I heard he was getting fired, it's like, whoa,
Oh, I
where was Fightful on this?
really. I I heard he got fired. I'm like, oh, this is a lame storyline. No, I guess I'm more cynical.
Well, yeah, I just didn't because of like, I don't know. It just seems like so random that it's Adam Pearce and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but
Like they're doing this big.
the week before he said like, if you touch one of my officials again, so they already set it up. Because remember when Seth Rollins did the babyface thing when he threw that producer in the way of a spear and ran away. Um,
Yeah, well, he is a babyface, so
so after
there you
that,
go.
yeah. So when the heel threw the producer in the way of Bobby Lashley, Adam Pearce said that my hands are tied, blah 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 blah. So I mean, it wasn't out of nowhere. He set it up. You could see it a mile away. If you weren't
Well,
too,
I thought it was. I didn't know they were going to do a firing. I thought they were more so, I don't know, you lose the title match or, you know, something.
well, no, you
But
can't.
now,
You're getting fired. You're assaulting. You're assaulting your employers.
or suspended. He gets suspended. People get suspended all the time for that. Brock Lesnar got suspended for F5ing people, referees.
Maybe,
I think
yeah.
that's what wrote him off the TV. Not this last time, but a couple times ago, that's what wrote him off TV. He just came in and F5 officials. But yeah, he got unfired, so
Oh, good for him.
we'll see where that's going.
Well, speaking of Friday, that's moves us into SmackDown, and that starts with the Bloodline coming to the arena, and I noticed that Sammy has a man bun now.
And a shaved beard, or
Is it
trimmed.
shaved? I don't
It
know.
was
I didn't
trimmed,
really
yeah.
notice as much of a difference beard wise. I couldn't stop looking at the man bun.
Yeah, so he was cleaned up. He said he needed to get cleaned up, and he got cleaned up.
He looked like a an entourage of Machine Gun Kelly.
he's, I mean, he's cleaned up. That's what he was supposed to do.
Okay. Well,
What are you're not pro man bun?
no, men aren't pro man bun. No.
You're in the minority there.
No, no, I'm not.
People were people were pro man bun. Man bun is in.
But I said men. Men aren't into men buns.
It's
Uh,
a man bun. What do you mean a man's not into a
It's a
man bun?
misnomer. It's like, oh
Of
yeah,
course, men are
man
into.
bun. There's your man bun, girly girl. Okay, so I skipped the women's tag championship match because Liv Morgan was a part of it.
Okay.
So, go ahead. It's all
I was
yours.
just gonna say it was a much better match than I would have expected. And of course, Damage Control won. Well, I would say of course, but not really of course. But Damage Control did win. Um, yeah, it was an oddly entertaining match.
Okay.
Io continues to prove that she's the standout, and there was a good callback to Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox,
Okay.
and they even mentioned it on commentary. So, well, they mentioned that there's history. They didn't really go into the history.
All right. Well, and a more important thing.
And
Oh, sorry.
oh, okay,
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
And
Um, oh, there was something important that happened in this match,
okay.
kind of. So during the match, how Damage Control won. So there was a moment where Bailey, um, Tegan Knox was getting back in the ring. Bailey grabbed Tegan Knox's leg, pulled her back out of the ring. Ref's distracted, of course, so he didn't see any of this. Um, Bailey's gonna throw Tegan Knox into the barricade, and Tegan Knox reversed it, threw Bailey into the barricade, and then she's like leaning over the barricade to grab Bailey, and a hooded figure, it was a woman, of course, attacked Tegan Knox. Thus, this was caused the end of the match.
A hooded woman.
A hooded woman, a
Okay.
mystery woman.
Do we see the hooded woman?
We found out later, but
Okay. I don't remember
I
a
do want
hooded
to say
woman.
this. Well, it was a letdown. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Okay.
It ended up being Xia Li.
I don't know who that is. I know the name.
She's
I've heard the
she's
name.
another, she's another jobber,
Oh, okay.
but and she doesn't need to be, but she is.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so the hooded woman attacks, right? And of course, this gets Twitter, this gets the community talking. Oh, who's this mystery woman? And as you would guess, some of the names that started coming out were Mandy Rose, Sasha Banks, Chelsea Green. Like, anytime there's a mystery, those names start to get thrown out. Now, I knew immediately it wasn't any of them. I didn't know who it was, but I knew it wasn't any of them because they showed on the replay like a close up.
Mm-hmm.
And Sami Zayn, he calls himself a usologist. Well, I fancy myself a bootyologist, and I could tell by the figure on this woman, her ass, that's bootyologist. Again, if you want to hear that word again. I could tell by the booty that it was definitely not Sasha Banks. It was definitely not Naomi. It was definitely not Chelsea Green. It was definitely not Mandy Rose.
Okay. Just based
Um,
on their assets.
on their assets.
Okay.
And then yeah, so it was later to be revealed to be Xia Li. Don't know why she did it yet. They didn't go over that. They just like I guess because it was getting so out of control with who could it have been, they went ahead and just showed on like WWE.com them taking the mask off and it was her. I don't know. I guess they wanted to dumb it down before it got out of control, and people thought Mandy Rose was already back or Sasha Banks was back and all that.
Okay. Well, um,
So there was something interesting there, just
no,
because it was a mystery woman. But
no. I'm glad I missed that. Okay, moving on to more important things. We have the Gunther video package that was fucking awesome. I was so ready. The classical music and just him just beating the shit out of people. And talking about how he's gonna rub faces into the mats and shows clips of him saying he's gonna beat Ricochet and it's great. Then we get the
I don't
Ricochet.
know. He talks a little violent.
Yeah,
He needs to tone it down. Talking about I'm gonna throw your lifeless body around. Like, come on, man. What are you talking about?
yeah, he's
Like,
gonna.
how intimidating. How, if you, it would, just imagine you're gonna fight someone. And he's like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna chop you into pieces and then throw your lifeless body around.
Yeah,
Like,
he
whoa.
win he wins the match before the bell even rings.
Yeah, he
Um,
needs to calm that shit down.
so everything
Like,
Gunther's video package was, Ricochet's wasn't. I didn't like his at all.
well, there you go. I mean, it's a video package, so there's not much to really dissect there.
Fair
It was
enough.
just hyping up the match that was about to come up.
All right, so moving on, we get the Bloodline backstage. They're all sitting in their little studio thing. Sammy's bragging about his man bun. Jay says Roman is going to make Sammy a full blown oos. Go drop that honorary. Jimmy, he's a little hesitant. He says that Roman is in a mood, and he's basically saying that Sammy's being set up to be disappointed.
Yeah, he was saying Roman wasn't even going to show up.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, there you go. Next, we get LA
You better
Knight.
get your energy up for this segment.
We get LA
You
Knight.
sit up. You sit up, you stand up, do something. You get your energy up.
We get LA Knight and Bray fucking Wyatt. They go over the incident last week where LA Knight was hunting for Bray Wyatt and finds the shirt and the lights go off and fades to black. Well, then I guess they found some hidden footage of what happened after LA Knight was abducted. God, this is so stupid. So Bray Wyatt tied LA Knight in a boiler room. Kind of remind me of like that scene in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
You know, where Marcellus Wiley with the and yeah, it was uncomfortable and ugly and just whatever. Cut to LA Knight actually walking in the ring. He looks like a victim. Like he had the great victim stare. His eyes looked all sunken and like he's seen some things. He's had to do some things that that causes him to look away when he looks at his reflection the next day. So then he comes to the ring. Yeah, I mean, he's a good talker. I like his promos. One thing he did say is that Bray Wyatt says a bunch of gobbledygook that never gets to the point.
I knew you'd like that.
And he just boils down to him calling out Wyatt, which Wyatt, to his credit, he does come out with an unnecessary amount of mist. Man, that mist was everywhere.
It sure was.
LA Knight wastes no time in attacking Wyatt, and he beats the fuck out of him. I mean, he's stomping the shit out of him. He's in the corner. He's Well, as that happens, a spooky video plays. Captain Howdy says some things, and he says, "Hey, you want to see something scary?" And we saw something scary, all right. Captain Howdy comes out with this giant ass head, this little tiny body.
Uncle Howdy.
Oh, did I say Uncle Howdy, whatever. Uncle Howdy comes out, giant head, tiny body, just grabs his lapels while a recording of somebody laughing continuously plays. And there's a point where it looks like he was about to walk up to the ring, but then he stops and then he goes back to grabbing his lapels because that's all he's gonna do. It was weird, but hey, it worked because LA Knight, being the badass that he is, he's terrified of this person just standing there grabbing his lapels with a big head and tiny body. And then, while all this tension and spookiness and this big giant ass reveal happens, and LA Knight is finally out there to get his revenge on this asshole that has been tormenting him for the past week. Well, couple weeks. It just ends. That's it. Never see or hear from them again.
Insane. And it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. You didn't bring the energy, so I had to bring the energy. We got the reveal of Uncle Howdy, and it was not Bray Wyatt, although it was definitely Bray Wyatt's voice. And the laughing was Bray Wyatt's voice recorded. So there is that. But it is two beings, because Bray Wyatt was sitting in the corner after getting stomped out by LA Knight, and then Uncle Howdy was on the ramp. And I am captivated. I'm ready for the next part of this story. This is so brilliant. Oh, man. It's the best thing that's happening on SmackDown. Easily and by far. Outside of, Roman Reigns and stuff.
Well, no. Gunther is the best thing on SmackDown.
You take your good wrestling.
I will take my good wrestling.
You're gonna get your good wrestling match. Oh, it's a banger. And then what? No one's talking about it the next day. What are they talking about? Uncle Howdy. What are they talking about? Bray Wyatt. What are they talking about? LA Knight. Yeah.
Okay. And so when Uncle Howdy turns out to be, I don't know, who sucks? Enzo Amore. Okay. Then what?
I don't know who the hell Uncle Howdy is.
I bet it's still Bray Wyatt.
You are right. It was someone who was not very tall. He was as wide as he was tall. So, people were thinking it's Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is definitely not that big.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was that short either. So, definitely don't know who it is. Maybe they didn't do a face reveal, and maybe that was because this was just a stand-in character until they find the actual person who's going to be Uncle Howdy.
I don't know. It was fucking stupid. From the mist to the recording of the continuous laughing, it was just on a loop. To the fact that the person came out and didn't do a thing. To the fact that LA Knight sold it like it was the scariest thing ever. He just stood there. What was scary about it?
What was scary about it? He's been swearing up and down that it's Bray Wyatt that attacked him. I know it's you. I know it's you. I smell that it's you. I can feel that it's you. And then there's another person, and it is not Bray Wyatt. Who is that man underneath that mask? We need to know. We need to know.
I don't care. After all that, if the person wearing the mask uses a laugh track, I'm not interested.
Good. You go take your wrestling.
I will take my wrestling.
I'll take my sports entertainment. You take your wrestling.
Yeah, I will take like the FTR versus the Briscoes any day of the week over that.
Yeah, you take that, and I take. Oh,
Exactly.
I don't have to. I'll take Stone Cold stunning Vince McMahon, the boss. I'll take Stone Cold shooting Vince McMahon with a beer truck. I'll take Stone Cold in the hospital hitting Vince McMahon with the frying pan. I'll take
It
Stone
was a
Cold.
bedpan. It wasn't a frying pan.
Oh, what did I say?
You said frying
Anyway.
pan.
I'll take The Rock.
Oh, you
Taking
forgot the
Stone
part
Cold's
where he
belt.
shoved the IV thing up his ass.
Yeah, and that. I'll take Stone Cold. it seems like it's just all Stone Cold, but there's not. I'll take Stone Cold getting fired, and I put that in quotes, and then threatening to kill Mr. McMahon, only to have a gun that just comes out and says bang after he's wheeling him around in a wheelchair. I'll take The Rock throwing Stone Cold's belt into the river, only to have Stone Cold come out, whoop The Rock's ass, and throw him into the river.
I'll take that over the Bray Wyatt shit any day too. Yeah. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they wrestled.
Not every week. It wasn't
Yeah,
wrestling that won the Monday Night Wars.
it ended up with a wrestling match.
But it wasn't wrestling. It
The
won
Stone
Monday
Cold
Night
versus
Wars.
the Stone Cold versus Rock shit that led to a hellacious. I can't remember if it was a world title match or an intercontinental title match.
See? My point exactly. You remember the moment, but you don't remember what match
I
it
remember
was
the
for.
match. It was great. I just don't remember what the arbitrary prize was for it. Sue me.
It was I think it was Intercontinental at that time. But anyway, give me my sports entertainment.
Well, you can have it.
And then you
You
I
can
wanna
have you
sit
can
I
have
wanna
your
sit
guy. You can have your guy with a big head, with lots of
Uncle
mist,
Howdy.
just laughing and standing there, and then it just fades. You have your little soap opera.
Thank you.
You know the things that you like. You're the reason why our sport is.
No, you are.
Nope.
You're the you and your just give me bangers.
Give me wrestling. Yeah. I want a good wrestling bout.
And I will admit, the the thing that happened next
Was
was
amazing.
pretty good,
A fucking plus.
but it was no. You could it didn't even come close to the previous segment,
Are you kidding me?
but it was a good segment.
This is
The
by
next
far and
segment,
away. First of all, this is the best thing on. The only thing that might come close is the video package for Gunther. So, Gunther versus Ricochet happens. Ricochet won the little World Cup on Fox Expialidocious thing. They do their entrances. I thought Ricochet's little spin arm thingy was really... yeah. It was a little too much. Very, very, very flamboyant. Adam Pearce immediately kicks out Kaiser and the other guy.
Giovanni Vinci.
Whatever. Gunther doesn't give a shit. He's cool with it. Whatever. You can go. Go. So when did Pierce become GM for both shows?
Oh, did we lose you?
When did Pierce
There we
become
go.
When did Pierce become GM for both shows?
He's been that for a while. And he's not necessarily the GM. He's just like he every once in a while he makes a decision.
Okay.
But it's been that way for I guess a couple of years now.
All right.
But yeah, it's not like this week and the previous week, or the Lashley thing, and then like that's been the most he's been involved in for a long time.
Okay. Well, he was
So-
involved. He was involved with the Roman shit too.
Yeah,
But
on
and
the
he was
Roman
involved.
thing.
He tried to fuck over Gunther, the ring general.
No, he wanted a fair match.
He tried to screw him
I
over.
mean, I don't even know why Imperium. Even when he was coming out, I was like, why do we need Imperium out there? Like, just let these two go.
Well, apparently Adam Pearce agreed with you because he said, "Get out!" over dramatically.
Yeah.
So then the match happened, and it was fucking awesome. I loved every minute of it. I liked Ricochet would start getting some offense, and then Gunther would immediately just cut him off and just stop him. Every time he tried to get on the ropes, like he'd run and just kind of bear hug him. He'd keep him on the mat. He wouldn't let him do that flippy floppy shit at all. There was one spot where he did that belly to back suplex on the apron, where he just tossed him like a sack of shit. I winced. I was like, oh man, God. So I mean, yeah, it was pretty much all Gunther for most of the match, as it should have been. Ricochet finally gets the advantage. He ends up hitting a shooting star press. Gunther kicks out of it. Gunther then begins to beat the piss out of him some more. Now, there's a spot where Ricochet goes for a drop kick, and Gunther just chops him in midair. Loved
Yeah,
it.
that was near the end.
Yeah.
Well, that was really the big. You could say it was over at that moment. But
Yeah. Like, oh my God. It was great. I remember that happened. I'm like, oh, my chest. It must not be fun working with him. Can you imagine?
I know I wouldn't do it.
Just getting your shit smacked all match.
No. Like, man, like I'm about to turn into hamburger meat.
So Gunther then hits him with a power bomb. He kicks out. So then they put over his little last symphony. Which there's two things I have an issue with. The one happens to be the fact that he's going away from the power bomb. I like I don't know. I like the old school move, and the power bomb looks a lot more intimidating than this little last symphony thing. Maybe it's just me.
It's definitely different. It's like it's a power slam, but he doesn't run. He just stands still.
And he also doesn't he fall with him too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
And
weird.
he doesn't. It's not like a over the top power slam that he like drives the shoulder in. It's
Yeah,
like a side slam,
I don't know. I
power
like
bomb
the
position into a side slam, like a sidewalk slam. I don't know. It's weird.
I like the power bomb a whole hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
And nobody's using it. You don't have to do. I don't know. You don't have to do some stupid little slam thing.
Well, Strowman's using it.
So what? He's using his move.
He's using the power bomb.
Oh. Oh.
It's called the monster bomb.
okay.
I think that's what it's called now.
Okay.
And if I'm really being honest, he probably does it better than Gunther.
Probably. Yeah. He would. He is a big strong man.
Yeah.
So speaking of Strowman, he came out to save Ricochet from a post match beatdown, I guess, or I don't know if they were gonna beat him down, but they sure were posing with his lifeless carcass in the title. So yeah, we're getting Strowman and Gunther at some point. Can't wait for that. And then the second thing I have an issue with is, there's three men and one Strowman, and they all like Strowman can't beat Ricochet. Gunther just destroyed Ricochet. There's three. There's three men. Why are they running away from Strowman?
Well, Gunther just had a grueling match with Ricochet. He was probably tired. He didn't want to pick that moment to fight,
Okay.
even though they were about to beat up Ricochet.
Okay. But yeah, I'm tired of seeing Gunther run away from fucking Strowman.
Well,
Especially if well, we'll get there.
well, now it looks like, yeah, we're heading downhill to that Strowman Gunther face off, probably at the Royal Rumble. Now we for sure know that Gunther's going to win because Strowman is not winning the title. So there you go. But I will say about the match, this was definitely, if I'm thinking about it, this was probably the best TV match of the year. And if I can go even further, mm, no, I guess I would still put it behind the Sheamus Gunther match. But it's definitely the best TV match of the year.
I don't know, it's different because Sheamus and Gunther were just two dudes beating the hell out of each other. This one, you had a big man and a little man, which he's really good. Gunther is really good at working different opponents like that because not a whole lot of like quote unquote big guys can work like say with a Rey Mysterio and make it look believable.
Yeah. So yeah, that is good. But yeah, definitely A plus match, or all the stars.
I say it's an A+ match. I loved it.
Well, I don't know what we're rating system. I don't know. If, I don't know if we're only doing chips for pay per view or if we're going to stars for TV matches. I don't know.
We
Our ranking system's all over the place. but but whatever it is, this is the top of them.
yeah, this is the bar for TV matches at least.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, shit for some pay-per-view matches.
And
Looking at you, AJ Styles, Finn Balor.
yeah. And I said on the final note for that is Gunther keeps proving that he's the bar of SmackDown.
He's great,
I would say.
and he can
I
talk.
mean, yeah, I would say he's probably second best. Well, yeah, if you're not talking about the top stars, he's probably the second best person on SmackDown behind LA Knight. Next. Next. Yeah.
Top star. So
Well, I'm saying if you take a
who's the top stars?
like Roman and Bray, they're the person, they're the people you put on to, sell tickets.
Bray's too busy reliving his high school film days with his mist and his big ass head.
That wasn't Bray.
Roman
Obviously.
Roman Reigns, yeah, I guess so. I'd take Gunther over Roman. That's bias.
So he's definitely top five on the roster.
I'd say he's two.
You forgot LA Knight, who's wedges himself right in there.
He's good, but he ain't Gunther good.
Okay. I
It's
said
fact.
next.
I said fact.
I said next.
Yeah.
This wasn't a open mic night for debate.
Hey,
This is a statement that we move
I
on to the
I
next.
pay half the bills.
Hey, I was closing this segment out with that information, so that
Well, I
we
mean,
can
if you want to
move to
lie
the
to
next.
our fans, go for it. Next we
Oh, they
get
know the truth.
they do. Next we get the bloodline backstage again. Um, Jimmy comes up to Roman, basically wants to know what Roman has planned. He says, if you want to make Usi or Sammy an honorary Usi, I'm down with that. I like Sammy, but I love my family. Blah 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 blah. Then he leaves. The only thing I really got out of that is the way that Paul Heyman said, "Call Pierce." It made me giggle.
It was definitely odd, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's that little undertones, like, if you're gonna make him a full blown oos, I'm with you. But just know, I love my family. Like, they're saying, he we can bring him in, but he's not
He's still not one
really
of us.
family. Yeah,
Which is, then why are you taking the honorary away?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's like they're still setting up for that turn,
Yeah.
even though Sammy's done nothing but be loyal.
Do you think Sammy's going to turn because the bloodline doesn't ever fully trust him? It's kind of one of those things. Like, if I'm going to have the name, I'll have the fame.
No, I think it's gonna be. I'm thinking that he's gonna do something that screws up, and then that's gonna be what they turn on him for.
Okay. Okay. Well, after that, we get Sammy and Roman versus Kevin Owens and a mystery partner teased. He says, Roman, being he, tells Adam Pearce that he'll solve his Bobby Lashley problem and then offers up a match. I don't know how that solved anything, but there you have it. After that, we get a triple threat tag match, and I skipped it. However,
Oh boy, you shouldn't have skipped that one.
well, I did the fast forward thing, right? So I, fa- I stop because it's close to the end, right? I'm like, well, how'd this piece of shit end? I see the Viking Raiders, they get taken out, and then everybody just somehow rolls to the outside the ring. But then I see this big hunk of shit that calls himself Top Dollar do a little gang sign, run to the
Who better
ropes,
than Top Dollar? Not Nada.
runs to the ropes, and the commentator's like, "Oh, there's no way." And nope, there wasn't any way because this motherfucker just flipped over the shit, and nobody knew what to do. Not one single person involved in that match knew what to do after that. It was worse than the Ronda Rousey botch. Fire Top Dollar. You got
I
all these.
think we can.
You got
I
all
think we
these
can paint a
reports from.
picture a little bit better than that, though.
Oh, go ahead, please, please.
Okay, so Top Dollar, as you said, he has everybody outside of the ring, and he decides at this moment he is going. They've been teasing this that he's going to do like a suicide dive over the ropes, and he decided at this moment he was going to try it, or he was actually going to do it.
Do it free on TV.
Yeah. So he he goes to do his suicide dive. The only problem is he did not clear the ropes. His waist pretty much hit the ropes, and then he. So I don't know if you've ever run into something that's only waist high, but when you do, like your top body kind of like wraps around it. So you just
Yeah.
do like a circle, and that's what he did. He hits the top rope,
It's like he didn't
and
even
then
jump.
yeah, he hits the top rope, and then came down and did a circle and hit the apron. Meanwhile, all the guys are still standing there outside because he didn't clear it at all, the ring,
No. He
and
just
they
kind of
all
fell
had to sell
awkwardly
it.
outside the ring, and it was just everybody just laughed at him. I think they had
Yeah.
the mask, the commentary, or not the commentary, the crowd. They were in Chicago, and Chicago was on fire.
Oh no, they got him. They were saying you fucked up.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry,
It was
the
mass. It
replay,
was definitely mass,
yeah,
but you could hear it. Crowd starts chanting "You fucked up" because he's still, he's still selling it like he nailed it.
oh my god.
B-Fab, B-Fab's out there jumping around like he nailed it. Um,
See, if
and
that
then
was
what was
me,
best?
I would just walk to the back. I would do my little shitty flip thing that I messed up, and I would just keep walking.
Yeah. Now what was best about this was Michael Cole. So he says,
Oh yeah, he didn't let him get away with it.
well, he says before he's like, "Oh, he doesn't do this very often." Right before the dive,
Uh
and then as soon as the botch, then Michael Cole says, "And we know why now."
yeah, he was pretty good.
Like that was gold. And yeah, so that was the botch. You probably have heard around the world, seen it on Twitter, seen a clip somewhere. Um, to his defense, I guess,
I,
Top Dollar did say that his knee gave out right before the dive.
there's no
Uh,
defense.
he said he's okay, so we
Of
can
course
laugh
he's
about
okay.
it.
So he has a little bitch excuse. He can't just say I fucked up. He's gotta have a little excuse.
Well,
His
you
knee,
said it didn't look like he jumped. He said his knee gave out, which caused him not to be able to jump.
but
Hit Row ended up,
it's magically fine now.
yeah, Hit Row ended
Okay.
up ending winning this match. Um, but he, off of this botch, like he could barely stand at the end of this match. Like he was trying to do their finisher, and he was like barely able to hold the dude up. I forgot who he pinned. Raul Mendoza, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah. Now, I want you to keep this story in your mind because we're going to talk about we're going to talk about a story later, and this is a prime example of why.
Well, and the Viking Raiders are dead now, right?
Um, I don't think so because they didn't get pinned.
Okay.
That was the only saving grace. Another thing in this match, I don't know if I should say it. I'm gonna say it. Another thing in this match, there was a moment where all the ladies like started doing offense on each other in the ring, and Selena Vega, she hits one of the ladies on it. Don't remember who it was. This is not important. But she hits. Am I still here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still here.
Okay. So Selena Vega, she hits a Hurricane Rana on one of the ladies, and at that very moment, the camera perfectly caught her bent down on all fours, and her little leopard skin thing was perfectly see through. And God have mercy. And that that was the one highlight of that. I would say that's the highlight of the whole match.
Probably the whole show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like it was just like uh, obviously it wasn't timed that or it's supposed to be that way, but just perfect timing where the camera was right there and you could just see it all. Well, see a lot.
All
You
right.
can't see it all, like you know, not as much as I would want to see.
Okay, so next up we get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Well, I'm sorry. That Rodriguez girl. Is it Raquel Rodriguez?
Yes,
Okay.
Raquel Rodriguez still in the trainer's room for some reason.
In the trainer's room, nursing a broken arm. Talking about her friend Shotzi and how awful and mean Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are. And then Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler show up and beat the shit out of Raquel. The only thing I'll say is I appreciated how Raquel sold her ass whooping. I noticed that there's a trend where the girls will pretend to cry, which I don't know. That's weird. Like these are supposed to be tough, badass women, and they're crying. But Raquel didn't do that. I appreciated it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I could see that. I did. I did essentially one of your specials. Instead of, I was watching this live, so instead of skipping the segment, I got up and walked in the other room to do
Okay,
something else.
good for you.
So I did not see this.
All right. Well, hopefully I did a good job of explaining it. Finally, we get to our main event of the evening. The Bloodline comes out. Roman has his 30-minute entrance. Does he have 2 rounds of pyro?
Yes,
Okay,
as the tribal chief should.
sure.
He should have 3 rounds. We don't have enough pyro.
This was probably my least favorite segment I've seen the Bloodline in. They were just there. Roman says he hasn't seen his Bloodline since War Games, and they dominated. And he slaps hands with everybody. Says it was going to be a good day for Sammy, but now there's a KO problem. Sami Zayn makes the mistake of saying that he's Kevin Owens' only friend. He's like, he was my friend, blah, 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 blah. Then they start building up their match. Doesn't matter who Kevin Owens picks as his mystery partner. They're gonna shred him and decimate and blah, 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 blah. Then John Cena's face shows up. Which is kind of funny because I wrote Sheamus.
No, it's John Cena, Peacemaker.
I said, man, it's going to be so good seeing Kevin Owens and Sheamus beat the Tribal Chief and Sami Zayn.
Well, you knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be John Cena. Um.
I didn't put the two together. I should like
Well.
as soon as he said the tag match on the last episode of Raw, and I knew that John Cena was coming back for a Raw or not a Raw, a SmackDown. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't connect the dots. I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I didn't know it was the last SmackDown, but when he said, "Yeah." Oh, speaking of which, I need to jump back, way back.
Yep.
But when he said, uh, "We'll have a tag match in Tampa, Florida," um, I I already remembered, or I knew that John Cena was going to be at the SmackDown in Tampa, Florida. So I said, "Well, that's probably why he's there then."
Because it sure beats Chicago.
Yeah. But if I can jump all the way back, this was something that I picked up on commentary
Okay.
during the Gunther and Ricochet match. Gunther did a crossface.
Oh, you caught that too?
Yes, and Michael Cole said he's doing a STFU.
Yeah.
Now,
No, no, no,
I
no.
don't know.
Gunther did an STF. Michael Cole called it a crossface. And then I don't know if he caught the fact that he fucked up or what, but then he like, oh, it looks like you're going for an STFU.
Yeah. So I did catch that. So I didn't know if that was like a little Easter egg. This is our WrestleMania match, or if he just called it that because then John Cena was going to show up later tonight.
I think he said it because he fucked up the name of the move. Because that was
I
clearly
know he fucked it up, but
no. I think
that
he
of
said
all things.
well because it's WWE STFU. He called an STF a crossface, so he screwed up, and in the heat of screwing up, he called it an STFU instead of an STF. Because the last time he called an STF was probably an STFU.
Okay. Well, I guess we got two different takes out of that. I took it
Sure.
as him teasing. I thought it was a call for John Cena. I didn't know if that was the tease of John Cena versus Gunther, or if it was just then by the end of the night we knew that John Cena was going to be showing up on the show.
I think they got bigger things for Gunther.
We'll see. Uh, but
That's
yeah,
SmackDown.
John Cena and Kevin Owens. He mentioned that for the last 20 years he's just wrestled one match every year.
Yeah.
So um, he has yet to wrestle a match this year. So he's going to show up on the last SmackDown to have that match.
Okie dokie.
And so we're going to have a mega match. They're probably going to load up the show.
Oh yeah.
Um, SmackDown, I would say they won't do a 3, but they'll definitely do a very high 2. If Angle was able to do a 2-4, a John Cena match, John Cena versus Roman Reigns match on TV, it's probably, yeah, you're going to be looking at 2-6, 2-7 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even more. So there you go. So that's going to be a major SmackDown. Meanwhile, there's also Monday Night Raw.
Hey man, I thought I thought this week's Raw was better than most. You said there was no storytelling, but I thought there's definitely storytelling with the Alexa Bliss stuff and serious Asuka maybe transforming into Kana. That I think that's a hell of a story too. And
Yeah, there
then
was some story.
then
Maybe
on
a little bit more
SmackDown you had
than.
the story of the ring general grounding the little flippy flopper, mauling him like a bear. Continuation of the Braun Strowman to do. I mean, I think the storytelling's there. You gotta read it.
You just got to get through all that nasty wrestling. You gotta get to the, yeah, get through all that. You can weed through all that wrestling to get to the sports entertainment, the good stuff.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, there's your SmackDown and Raw reviews or recaps, I would say, not a review. And we can get into our stories
Yay.
because we do have a lot of those.
We have quite
Got
a few.
some major stories for you this week. I think we start off light and then get into the big stories. And we can start with one Gunther. So this is just a second. I just dropped my notes.
Professional.
So this was starting to circle around. This is officially reported by Gimme Sports. It is being discussed internally that we are going to be getting Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
Ah!
And you want to talk about, I don't, this, it's hard to say everything's a dream match. You
Right.
know, oh, this is my guy, this is guy's dream match. But I would say this is pretty damn close to a dream match.
It's a big
Um,
match. It might not be a dream match, but it's a mega match is what I've been calling it.
yeah, the two, I think their styles would clash pretty good. Um, it's pretty much two dudes beating the shit out of each other,
Yep.
and I don't know. I just think it's going to be a good match if that's the way they go.
And if they
We
do
do
it the
have
right
other
way.
things. Yeah, we do have other things that are being teased for Gunther, like John Cena. Um, what was the other one? I don't remember the other one, but well, maybe Sheamus. Even though we've seen that, because Sheamus still does need to win that title. But I would be, I would be very, very interested in a Gunther versus Brock Lesnar match.
Oh my goodness. That would be like I think that would be the main event.
Yeah, you can get a night one or a night two, either one. I don't know which. They're supposed to be equal, so it doesn't matter which one it is.
Right. It'd be my main event, but I don't know. It kind of has to be done the right way though. Like Brock can't just go in and throw Gunther around like a rag doll.
There's gonna be a little bit of that
Well, yeah.
Suplex City and all.
I personally, I would like to see Gunther do to Brock Lesnar what Brock did to John Cena at SummerSlam.
Just dominate him.
Uh huh. Just think about it though, like, because you're gonna expect like a good match between Brock Lesnar and Gunther, and one would assume that Brock has the edge, one for experience, and two, I mean, look at him, he still looks jacked. Like Gunther's a lot of things, but he's not a physique guy, at least not right now.
Yeah,
But you go in
yeah,
there
definitely.
and he automatically just like I don't know, just mauls him like a fucking bear, gets him to the mat. I mean, maybe he doesn't have to like suplex him 100 times, but I don't know, gets him to the mat, tosses him around a little bit, and then gets this little symphony slam.
So just one-sided affair.
That's what I mean. If you want to make Gunther, I think that's a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah,
But
but it is
if
definitely
if that's not
that
gonna
would definitely
happen,
be a mega match.
yeah,
Yeah,
if that's not gonna happen, then they need to at least have a competitive match. It can't be I don't know. Can't be suplex, and then a chop. Suplex, chop. You still there?
Because, Shane.
Oh,
Yeah, I am.
okay.
I was just saying, it's definitely one of the. After hearing a possible Gunther versus Lesnar match, I don't think I could see him. That's the match I want. That would be my front runner.
Right.
I don't want to see him versus Cena, although that would be interesting. And again,
That would
Cena's
be
going in there to
interesting
lose.
symbolically. I think him wrestling Brock would be both not only symbolic, but it'd be a good match.
Yeah, that makes him a legit, like, the top of Well, one of the tops of SmackDown. Still got. He'd still have to overcome LA Knight, but
If he overcomes Brock,
he would be in the upper echelon.
if he overcomes Brock, don't even come on.
It would put him in consideration for one of the faces of SmackDown. Behind, like they'd be in the they're in the same car now.
Well, LA Knight's too busy getting his shit pushed in by Bray Wyatt in the boiler room.
Oh, don't worry, Bray Wyatt's gonna get his. Actually, he's not. He's probably gonna win that feud, but but LA Knight is making that whole thing. So there's
Well,
that.
and
I don't know
another
why
thing
we
you have to
made this about LA Knight.
another thing you have to consider is that Brock Lesnar is not a full-time guy. Gunther is. So, I mean, it only makes sense for him to win.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think there's any other outcome than him winning.
Hey,
Like there's no logical outcome than that.
Brock winning. I could see them
No,
doing that.
Gunther winning.
No, I could see them. I can see them having Brock win.
What? No, you
Yeah.
can't do that. You cannot do that.
I agree, but I can see them doing it.
You're stomping out all yeah. You want to kill Gunther's momentum? No.
Yeah, it'd be, but like, don't make the match then.
If that's gonna be your outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. In no way should that even be a thought.
But I bet it is.
And also, Brock doesn't benefit from that in one way.
Well, he didn't
I mean,
benefit.
you gave the guy the streak.
He didn't benefit from beating Undertaker.
Well, I was gonna say, you gave him the streak. Why do you have to give him Gunther too?
Just gotta give him everything. He's the beast.
I don't like that.
Oh, I don't either. It's either gotta be
But-
my way or a competitive way. And yeah, Brock can't win at all.
Yeah, and I can definitely see. I can see what you're saying though. It is WWE, so the thought process might be there to have Brock win.
Right. And Paul McMahon is basically carrying on what Vince did.
There we go. We got another name. Speaking of a name, let's talk about Riddle.
Oh boy.
Matthew Riddle. The bro.
Bro.
So a couple weeks ago, when he got written off of TV by Solo,
We got his beat down. He was taken out of commission. He was eviscerated. Samoan spiked a couple times.
they do not test for marijuana anymore.
Yeah, you just
But-
cut out.
Oh, sorry. Am I back?
You are now.
I was just saying before I mentioned that he I'm gonna mention that he failed his wellness check.
Oh, you cut out before that. Start over.
Oh, let's talk about Matt Riddle. Let's talk about Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle, um, I and it was funny when it happened. I said it felt like they wrote him off of TV, and we knew it was for 6 weeks. Didn't know why. Turns out he got busted for failing the wellness policy. They didn't state what it was, but it was something, and he has to go to rehab. Um, it is also worth noting that they do not test for marijuana, which is, I guess, good since his whole character is revolves around being a pothead. But whatever he got busted for, it wasn't marijuana, and he is off to rehab for 6 weeks.
Well, does it matter if it's marijuana or not? Like if his character is a drug addict, isn't it still kind of
Well,
weird that they would suspend him for drugs?
it's not weird, but it's
Especially if they're gonna,
also
especially if on that following Monday night they're gonna have the person that they were teaming with light up a doobie.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's weird, but I definitely think um, it's not surprising. You mean to tell me this this guy who every week has some kind of innuendo about being high got failed a drug test? That's what you're telling me? They would have never guessed that. Uh, it even goes back though further. So, they were supposed to do the match with Seth Rollins at Clash of the Castle,
Mm-hmm.
and then that got pushed back, and then they did it at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
Apparently, that's when this whole thing started. He got busted back then too.
I thought he wrestled at Clash at the Castle.
No, he was off the show.
Was he? Okay.
Um, and now I'm just thinking of this myself. Uh, it kind of then also makes sense why right after he beat Seth Rollins, he wasn't really doing anything because it seems like they kind of knew this was heading towards him needing to go to rehab, or maybe didn't trust him or something.
Well, I think that's
So,
it might just be a policy. Like if you fail a first drug test, then you gotta do a second one, or you're gone.
yeah, they got like a 1, 2, 3 policy or something like that.
Okay.
First time it's 30 days, next time it's 60 days or something like that, and then you have to go to rehab or get fired or something like that. I don't know. I'm not. Go to Fightful if you want those kind of details, but it was something. But he got busted. But yeah, it does then make sense why since Elimination Chamber he's kind of been doing nothing. Golly, I keep dropping my notes. Why is that happening?
Well, the one silver lining is that we won't be seeing him for 6 weeks.
Yeah, there you go. And then when he comes back, I mean, he's kind of screwing his career. Again, he had that big moment of beating Seth Rollins and did nothing since.
Well,
And then now
does he come back as a druggie? Can he still like be one?
he will. He
Okay.
will. I don't think it's in good taste that he does,
Okay.
for sure, but he will.
So it's
He will
like
be his.
if Scott Hall came and was not, I guess they did that.
Yeah,
It worked so
like,
well that time too.
yeah, it's definitely not in good taste, but I'm sure they will keep that gimmick going.
All right.
But there you have it with Matt Riddle. And next up. Oh, did you? Um, just a moment.
Did you drop your notes again?
No, I'm just saying where we're gonna go next. Oh, let's go here. Mia Yim.
Oh boy.
So this is a light story. So Mia Yim, she deactivated her Twitter account. So she went through a moment where she was with Austin Theory. They were posing for a WWE promoted photo shoot. I don't know what it was like ultimately for, but
With two
she did a
packs of yogurt.
picture
Forgot about that. It's very important.
with 2 packs of yogurt. And so in the picture, she was in Austin Theory's arms, where he
Well,
was
she was
holding her.
straddling him.
Yeah, he was basically carrying her like a baby, but her legs were straddled around him. They're standing up. Uh,
Carrying like a man. They were dirty dancing.
yeah. And again, this was for a promotion, so this
So
they told them to do this.
the WWE had them dry hump.
Yeah, but you have people on Twitter. They immediately took this and said that Mia Yim was cheating on Keith Lee off
Which
of
is
this.
which is a logical conclusion any sane, rational person would come to.
Yeah, and it got so out of hand that this is why she ultimately deleted her Twitter. Um, I guess it's not like a big story because she just loves social media,
Right.
so that silenced all that. But it also is good to point out that fans can be idiots.
Boy.
And I will also say, if she's gonna cheat on someone, or if she's gonna cheat on Keith Lee, follow me here. It's not going to be with Austin Theory. It would be with someone like Bobby Lashley. I
What
will
about
even give you
Brock Lesnar?
what? No, not Brock Lesnar.
You know, Brock Lesnar.
Not Brock Lesnar. Uh, I could even on a lesser extent. So it's either gonna be like a Bobby Lashley. On a lesser extent, I could see like
Brock Lesnar.
and from what you say, Xavier Woods.
Oh.
That could be also one
I
a
bet.
candidate for her cheating on.
I
But
bet.
it ain't gonna be.
I bet Brock Lesnar has a tree trunk.
I don't know. He can't have. I think he's. I
Dude,
don't know.
he's got Sable.
He does, but I think he's part of the tiny gang. Not. Whoa, not tiny.
It,
He's probably
if he
average at best.
if he was with Sonny, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. But he's with Sable.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on if he's done steroids. If he's done steroids, then that thing is like tiny.
You don't think Bobby Lashley did steroids?
No. Okay, Xavier Woods. But Bobby Lashley, you give you just have an appearance that you know he's everything Keith Lee's not physically, and then you just have the thought process that he has gifts, a gift down there as well.
What about Finn Balor?
No, not Finn Balor.
No?
No.
James
Why would
Ellsworth?
it be Finn Balor?
I don't know.
No, no. There's only there's only a small handful, and it's not. Yeah, you got Cedric, Is Cedric Alexander even still on the roster? I don't know. Xavier Woods, Bobby Lashley, um, Omos maybe. Oh, jeez, Omos. Anyway, there's there's your crazy story of the week.
There you go.
Who would have thought I'd spend a whole segment talking about Dick?
It was bound to happen.
Well, we did say there's not enough Dick on the show, so we need more Dick. Again, we got our most subscribers off Dick. We need more Dick. We got more Dick today, so
There you go.
speaking of Dick, I guess this turns into
You still there? Uh-oh.
last minute. So Sasha
You
Banks,
just cut out again.
did I?
You dropped off at speaking to Dick.
Oh, I said speaking of Dick, that leads us into one of our main stories of the evening, Sasha Banks. And then I said, I don't know why I said Dick. And then I said, well, it's because I was going to go with another story. Then I changed my mind last second.
Now that's
So,
sausage.
so we did report that she is done with the WWE. We have found out more information that is very relevant to the story. We have found out that Sasha Banks is done because they would not pay her what she wanted. So she wanted to get paid like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I don't know how much that is, but apparently it was more than she was getting. And the WWE felt that she was not worth that amount of money. This happened back in the summer, so she is indeed a free agent as of January.
Do you think she's worth Charlotte and Becky Lynch money?
I think she is worth Charlotte and Becky Lynch money. Um, for sure, I think she would be a top top of the company for the next 5 years if she stayed in wrestling. That's the one thing. Maybe she doesn't want to wrestle for 5 more years, but skill wise, she's definitely up there with them. You can argue that maybe she's not the draw that they are, because just the name value, and Becky and Charlotte have been treated so well in their whole run. They're the two darlings. Um, Maybe Bianca Belair is starting to creep up into that conversation of being one of the darlings that they just protect for eternity. But I would say Sasha Banks, skill wise, is up there with them. So yes, she definitely deserves that money. She's definitely going
She
to have the
deserves that money,
opportunity.
but she's not drawing as much money.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, that's what you said.
I said you can argue that, but I don't know that for sure. I don't have the numbers at all.
Well, I do. No, I don't. I just thought that'd be fun.
um, but the great thing about it is she's gonna have time to prove that them wrong. I guess kind of she can do the Cody Rhodes thing. She's gonna go to Japan. She's already being teased for AEW because they have a match. So they announced a couple weeks ago that there's going to be this mystery. There's going to be this tag team match and Paige is going to have a mystery opponent. It's happening in like, I don't know, the second week of January. But it was odd that they announced this like 2 months before the actual match, or a month before the actual match. So obviously people started to get talking, and that's where we're leading to maybe it's going to be Sasha Banks. If it is Sasha Banks, then yeah, she'll definitely have the opportunity to prove her that she can draw like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Um, but it is also within the realm that she doesn't even do wrestling anymore because she has her statements herself. She has a makeup line coming out. She has a movie that she's doing, and she has a TV show that she's doing. So maybe she just goes full Hollywood.
Oh boy,
Well, you don't have to watch.
I won't.
That's the great news.
Well, good riddance. I mean, I don't think. I just don't think she's gonna make that big of a splash in the wrestling world. Probably the entertainment world. She was already doing like Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah. So it is interesting to see, and we'll see if they were right or if she was right. If she becomes a bigger star than all the people together, then there you go.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. Good luck to her. She's gonna need it.
Well, I'll be watching.
Of course you will.
Next up. Hmm, I guess we can go in this order. Next up, Mandy Rose.
Oh yeah. Let me sit up for this.
Mandy Rose
Mandy Rose.
has gotten fired.
Thank God
So,
she did.
let's talk about this story. You've probably heard this story before. This has been floating around in the community, New York Post. Everybody's talking about it. But what's going to set us apart,
A lot of the message
I
boards I've
assure
been
you,
to were talking about it as well.
I can assure you what's going to set us apart on this story is that we have each done extensive research into these photos. And
Some
we
long hours.
we have left no stone unturned and looked at hours and hours and hours of pictures to find the examples that will lead to the most accurate details. So
And
we are
this is
well
the type
versed.
of dedication and preparation you can expect here at the show.
Yes, because you got these. As I was listening to this story during the week, you got these geeks. Oh, I didn't look at the pictures, but no, no, no. I looked at the pictures. I looked at all the pictures. I even went around asking on Twitter if anybody has good pictures, better pictures, any links, which turned out to be a mistake. So I wouldn't do that in the future. I wanted the best stuff I could find for research.
For research.
What am I? But ultimately, what am I talking about? Mandy Rose, she got fired because she was posting racy pictures on her fan time page. Fan time is basically a another version of OnlyFans where women get to post pictures, or well, not women, anybody gets to post pictures directly to fans. They pay for them, yada yada yada. They subscribe. I'm sure you're familiar with OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
By you, I mean the audience.
Oh.
uh, so yeah, Fan Time is just a version of OnlyFans, and Brand Army. But the difference between Brand Army and Fun Time is you can be nude. Enter what happened with Mandy Rose. So we get to Tuesday. On Tuesday, she had a impromptu, what it seemed like, tag team match. I'm sorry, impromptu championship match against Roxanne Perez. She kind of just loses the title easily, And surprisingly, it was like underwhelming that her 400 plus day reign just ended like that.
Right.
And then we learned out why, or we found out why, is because um, she got fired. She got fired that same day, or the reports started coming out the same day that Mandy Rose had been fired. Um, and what happened was we had one of the one of her subscribers leaked the photos, and then word got back to WWE management. WWE management told her that that she needed to take this down. She refused. Um, there's some word on the street that she's making like $1 million. I don't know over what time frame. I don't know if that's a year or a month. Uh, Honestly, I could see either one. So she's making $1 million off of this site. So she that's more than she's making with WWE. So she was like, "No, I'm not taking it down." So they kind of were forced to fire her. Of course, of course, the wrestling world sees this as, I don't know, this is bad for WWE that they fired Mandy Rose because she's posting these kind of pictures. Um, I, I, I could see both sides of it. Again, they did tell her, they gave her a chance to take it down before they did the firing.
Right.
So this wasn't just like, oh, you got these pictures, you're fired. Like they gave her ample amount of time to take these pictures down. That's number one. Number two, she didn't want to take them down because she's making, as said, $1 million. Don't know if that's a month or a year. Could be either one, and they're both believable.
What?
But, uh-huh.
Uh, I agree with you. Um, just the only thing that I would say is that she's not like advertising these pictures. They came out because somebody breached her paywall and released them on her own accord. It's not like she's advertising them. That's one. Two, like, you know, they had Paige as a general manager after her escapades with.
Well, that's not even. That's different
How is that different?
because Paige, those
She had leaked
that
videos and leaked pictures, just like
right.
Mandy Rose did.
But Mandy Rose put this stuff out
So did
on
Paige.
her own paywall. Like she was sending this stuff. She
So was
even
Paige. That's how people got it.
no, she wasn't sending it. It got stolen.
Well, she didn't have it. I think it's the same thing.
It's
Either
very
way,
much not the same thing.
either way, the
It
the
would be the
image, the image is still there. Not to
right.
mention, not to mention the extracurricular stuff beyond the spit roasting of Woods and the other guy, Brad Maddox.
Maddox. So you're saying because we've seen her naked, then she should have gotten fired?
I don't think any of them should have got fired, but I'm just saying that's. I'm not saying it's a double standard, but that's inconsistent. You you
Well,
basically promoted one and put one in a prominent role on your television show, because I'm assuming that the reason why that she's not allowed to have those pictures is because of some sort of image thing with their sponsors.
right. Yeah, and that's the reports that it's because Mattel doesn't want that kind of stuff with being associated with them since they're a toy company.
That
Um,
and they have
you
Riddle
are
who
missing.
he uh, he had his thing where they
Yeah, it is a
actively
contradiction.
huh
I said that is a contradiction there.
they actually changed his name just to just to avoid the bad publicity.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think they probably just didn't like her. Her being Mandy Rose, and they found a way to get
Well,
rid of her.
I mean, they if they didn't like her, they don't put the title on her for 400 days.
Well, Shawn Michaels
Um,
might like her.
but I think everybody's missing missing a big thing here when you're talking about like Paige going through this and getting promoted and stuff like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're missing one big piece of the puzzle,
Yeah.
and that is the fact that when Paige had her thing happen to her, she had a 70-year-old pervert who allegedly grapes women, allegedly grapes women in the back of limousines.
Who was that?
So Vince McMahon,
Oh.
of
Oh
course,
yeah,
Vince McMahon was going to be okay with it, but now her boss is Stephanie McMahon.
yeah. Okay,
So
that's
Stephanie's not going
fair.
to put up with that.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Because I've been hearing that well, they had women pose in Playboy. It's like, well, yeah, but that was like 20 years ago. You don't think a company evolves its values and shit?
Yeah,
So I guess that in that same vein, that would fall into that too, because Vince McMahon runs things differently than Stephanie and Nick Khan, I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, like
He likes bra and panties and titties.
he he had women, yeah, wrestling in bronze. He had Sable on TV in a just like a painted what that bikini that was just like a hand paint.
Uh huh. I remember.
You
I,
remember that like it was yesterday, don't you?
I remember the cat's bubble wrap too.
Yeah, like
That was good
this is
stuff.
and the bra and panties matches.
Hmm.
Like this is not someone who's gonna be. Oh no, you can't do that.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't think of it that way.
But now you have this new regime, and now I think there's a chance that she comes back, but I also think there's a chance that she doesn't come back because the amount she's making, if she is making $1 million. Oh, I'm sorry, we kind of missed something important here. Through the extensive research, I was only able to find 2 a.m. at Cinemax at 2 a.m. There was like a picture of her covering her breast, but
Hmm.
her fingers are like open a little bit, so you see a little bit of nipple.
It was hot.
There was a there was another picture of her tank. She was wearing in like a swimsuit or something, and it was like pulled down a little bit so you can see nipples.
It was hot
And
too.
then there was a video she's skinny dipping in a pool,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they're just floating. They're just floating there. And then there was one she's in the shower with her husband, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
This one
That was just kind
was
of.
good.
um, there was one. Someone was reporting there was one with her like playing with herself. I couldn't find that one.
I couldn't
Boy,
either.
did I look. Like, wait, that's the one I need to see for research, of course. And I spent a couple hours looking for that one. I didn't find that, so I don't know if that one's true or not. Um, but yeah, that's what I was able to find. What you would see if for those of you that would remember Cinemax, what you would see at 2 in the morning on Cinemax. Just basically tits and the idea of them having sex.
Yeah.
Now, now that now that she's cut free from WWE, maybe that goes a little bit further. If it does, I'll make sure to update you guys with some more information there. I mean, I want to. She got wrongly. Let me just say, she was wrongly fired. So if that happened to be a thing, and she had to like do that to pay her bills, I would need to help support her, and I would gladly pay that subscription fee.
It's
How
generous
much
of
is it?
you. I have no clue.
But yeah, I mean, I want to help her through a hard time. If that's what she has to do to, no judgment here. If that's what she has to do, I will pay it. I probably won't even look at it more than 5 times a day, and just helps get her back on her feet. You know, it's just me being a good guy. That's it. But yeah, it was a different regime back then when they were getting away with that stuff and probably forced to do that stuff.
Yeah, but uh, they still have Riddle.
They do. But he did have to check in the
If he doesn't smoke himself out of a job.
yeah, and he did have to check into rehab. There's no rehab for showing yourself naked.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Dutch Mantel, and he suggested that um, WWE does this thing where they say somebody flunked their test just to make it look like it's a legitimate testing system. Now, if I were to put my tinfoil hat on, what better way or what better person to nab for a drug or failed drug test than the druggie? Like, his image wouldn't be tainted at all.
Yeah, but this is like the first one under Triple H.
Right. I mean, I think it's far fetched for sure, but just kind of fun to think about.
And also, Mandy Rose, I think, is like the first firing in the Triple H era. So there's that as well.
Well, there might be more.
Um, yes, which leads us into our next story. Boom! Triple H is unhappy with some of his rehires,
Now, why do you think he's
aka.
why do you think he's unhappy with Hit Row and Johnny Gargano?
Well, I honestly don't know about Johnny Gargano.
Or you thought he brought?
Um,
You think his plan was to have him come in parading around with Loomis and his little grape whistle?
no, there's
Okay
definitely
then.
something bigger planned for him.
Okay.
But,
Well, you can tell
uh,
that because he was just before that he was lumped together with Kevin Owens for no reason against Theory. So big plans for Gargano.
so then it's their fault for not having a plan for him. Hit Row, on the other hand, they're just not connecting with the crowd. And by the way, when we say this, there was no names mentioned in this report, but obviously Hit Row's probably top of the list of disappointment. See Smackdown in that botched suicide dive.
Well, they're especially bad because they were released, right? And
Yeah,
they came back. Is that the one that was Swerve Strickland was on?
yes.
Okay. So and they thought they were gonna get Strickland. So yeah, that's probably definitely top of the
Yeah, they
list.
tampered. They tampered with Strickland while he was still in AEW. He told on him and didn't go back. And then yeah, kind of, kind of foiled that whole Hit Row coming back plan. And then he was just stuck with what he had. And then now they're not connecting with the crowd.
Superfly top
It's just
dollar.
it's just a disaster. And uh, and again, Johnny Gargano, and I guess if you want to like throw Candice LeRae with that because they're married, um, I think that's just a lack of them really having a plan. They just wanted. It's almost like they wanted to just keep him because he was teasing, or he wasn't teasing, but obviously it was that or AEW at the time when he was a free agent. So I think they more signed him to keep him out of AEW and then didn't have a plan for him.
Well,
And now he runs around with Dexter Lumis handing out money with
instead
a
of making it.
grape whistle.
I don't know. I don't think he's that great either.
Well, he's an acquired thing. You have to have seen him in NXT. Anything he's done on the main roster ain't gonna sell it. Um, I don't think. I mean, as far as rehires, it was very specific to rehires that were rehired in the summer. So that eliminates a lot of other people like Tegan Knox.
Wyatt.
I mean, yeah, Wyatt.
I mean, obviously he's not gonna. Even though
You may be able to throw Dakota Kai in that. Um, because Damage Control, they haven't been booked the best, to say it lightly. They haven't been booked the best. She was one of the.
I can't see him souring on people because of how they're booked, because it's him. I would think it'd be more talent and their inability to connect with the crowd, which is why Hit Row is perfect.
Easily at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And it might only be Hit Row.
Could be.
Maybe everybody else he has. But it's definitely Hit Row. 100% Hit Row. Like, I mean, at this point, just get B-Fab away from them and cut the rest of the other two. You got something in B-Fab. You can make her a valet, or I don't know. She's wrestled like once, so I don't know about her wrestling. So you can make her a valet for someone else. But Shanti the Adonis and Top Dollar needs to be released again. Maybe even Shanti the Adonis could be something. But Top Dollar definitely needs to. I don't know.
Especially after that monstrosity on Friday.
Yeah.
He did a little sign and everything. Like, oh, I'm going to do something impressive.
Yeah, he hyped it up. It reminded me, I don't know if you remember this, it reminded me when you did all that hyping up for jumping over that hurdle and then failed miserably at it. Like you'd run up to it and you'd get right up to it and be like, okay, and then run back, and then you do it again and then run back and then do all that breathing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And this went on for like 30 minutes. Only to then finally try it and didn't fail, or you failed. But you failed magnificently, I would say.
That's fine. Do you remember the jocks shoving you in the locker room? Stuffing your jock down your throat? Everybody laughing at you? I do. Ha! Ha! Let's laugh at you. Ha!
I'm not laughing. I just said
you were
reminded
laughing.
Me of that.
And then you laughed. You didn't even finish that without laughing.
Well, it reminded me of it.
No, that thought popped into my head as well.
The hurdle.
Especially the hurdle.
But I think on that note, we got one more story.
Alrighty. Let's make it a good one.
Oh, it's a good one, alright. What about Mr. McMahon. It's the I don't know what I'm doing here. Vince McMahon. So he had this documentary come out. Um, I don't know, it was this week, talking about the nine lives of Vince McMahon. Through promotion of that, he did, I guess, an interview with Forbes, or Forbes released some more information. Half of it, I don't know really what was in it. Don't really care. It was something about a lawsuit or something. Don't care about all that because I'm not a lawyer. But there was a piece of information in this that could be concerning, depending on what side of the fence you're on. But Vince McMahon said that he is considering coming back. He wants back in as the CEO of WWE.
Yeah. Well, real quick, uh, the allegations, and yeah, we're not going to get too far into it because we're not lawyers. But there's one new allegation from a female. I don't know if it was a masseuse or something, something of that nature. The second one was the referee that has been saying since '92 that she was raped by McMahon. She's the one that's been the
Uh-huh.
most consistent. So apparently, New York has this thing where, for like a year or the next year, people with crimes or cases like that outside the statute of limitations, they can bring it to court. And it sounds like that she's gearing up to maybe try to do that. So on top of that, when that comes out, Vince McMahon says he was given bad advice and everything was going to blow over, and uh, he's alluded to maybe stepping back inside WWE. And the funny thing is, what I found out is he's still the owner of everything, so he could, he absolutely
Yeah,
could.
yeah, he's still the majority shareholder,
Yeah,
and as I understand, that means it's not about it's not about him needing like to be voted in or anything. He can just say, "I'm back,"
right.
and they just have to say, "Okay."
Yeah, because he's a majority shareholder by a lot.
Yeah,
Which I thought when he resigned, that kind of meant he was no longer the owner of the company too. But this was smart on Vince's part, if that's the case. I think
yeah, they gotta.
it'll probably destroy the WWE. But I respect the hustle.
Yeah, there is that little thing that if he comes back, that the fans will definitely leave. So you'll be pulling in like impact ratings at this point,
Well, more
which is
importantly,
probably
the superstars would probably leave, especially the ladies. I mean, it's the ladies, but like if Scarlett leaves, you don't get carrying cross. Um, I don't know. There's gonna be a stigma, especially if McMahon's convicted rapist.
oh, I got an even better thing for you. What about all the people that he fired that Triple H rehired?
Right, right.
And then
Like Bray Wyatt's butthole clenched a little bit.
yeah, you got Bray Wyatt, Karen Cross, Braun Strowman. Uh,
Can you imagine just Triple H, Stephanie, and their daughters just sitting around, maybe making some popcorn, going to watch a Christmas movie with some cocoa and shit. And all of a sudden, Triple H's cell phone rings, and it just keeps ringing, and it doesn't stop because the wrestlers fucking find out that Vince McMahon wants to come back.
and yeah, that'd pretty much be the thing. Oh, and we forgot William Regal.
Yeah, boy,
Now
he.
he's like the or the right hand man now,
Uh huh.
and then he's just getting. Well, he hadn't even got there yet. He gets there in January, and then he could just be coming in, and Vince McMahon is like, "What are you doing here?"
See, and he can have the distinction of not only being the only person to be getting paid by both promotions at the same time, but he'll have been released by both promotions at the same time.
Yeah. What I thought about was like, have you seen Training Day,
A long
Denzel?
time ago. Long time ago.
Well, I thought about that scene where he talked about I'm King Kong. The gist of it is, he's in the sea of the people who turned on him, and I saw that being Vince McMahon, him walking into the office. he's like, he's like, okay, all right, seeing all the rehires that he already fired. He's like, okay, I'm gonna fire all you bitches. But yeah, it would definitely kill. It might kill the wrestling industry altogether.
Yeah.
I think I think it's not an overstatement to say that because the WWE is kind of the lifeblood of wrestling,
Right.
especially right now. And if you bring Vince McMahon back, the fans are going to turn. So then no one's going to be watching WWE, and as they are the lifeblood of the wrestling industry, then yeah, it'll pretty much kill wrestling altogether.
And we'd be doing
That's not an overstatement.
podcasts on like 95 Raw.
Yeah, well, we can't talk about modern day wrestling anymore because it's
So
gone.
the 1, 2, 3 kid comes out.
Yeah, we have to. Oh, are you guys ever going to talk about the any new matches? Oh, there's no more new matches. We'll
Well,
talk about the glory years of wrestling.
I do have to say it has to be unlikely that he comes back, but the uh, the nihilist in me just kind of wants that to happen. I want to see him try. I want to see him like take WWE back from a publicly traded company back to a privately traded company and just fucking burn it all down with his insanity.
Yeah, there's a part of me that kind of, if I saw that, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for him to come back. So
Just so all hell can break loose.
yeah,
Just watch
just
the
to see,
world burn.
because I said it's not an overstatement to say him coming back would kill the wrestling industry altogether.
Yeah. Well, it
So
definitely wouldn't be good for WWE at the very least. And if AEW is the only thing that survives, that's not a good sign.
yeah, I don't think if they're the top, then I don't think that's good for wrestling. I mean, it's good for you, as you like your wrestling, but then there's
AEW
gonna be
is
no
not
more
wrestling.
there's gonna be no more sports entertainment. You can go watch Japan, whatever, and then there's gonna be no more sports entertainment. And then that's what I'm here for. Now I'm lost.
That's cool. I'll turn you on to some good wrestling bouts.
I want to see your Bruno San Martino. Give me an Ultimate Warrior versus
Ew.
Macho Man.
Ew.
Now that's wrestling.
I'll give you Macho Man versus Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, when he are you talking about when they started their feud and Macho Man? I mean, Diamond Dallas Page said, "Hey, don't mention her used to being in the fact that she used to do Playboy." And then the first thing out of Macho Man's mouth was talking about her being in Playboy.
Yeah.
that I don't know why that. I guess just real quick. I don't know why that feud. I don't remember that feud, but I did like when the I watched Diamond Dallas Page do like a remembering thing of it
Yeah.
or like a recap of it, and he did it well. And I was like, why did I miss this feud? Or why don't I remember this feud?
I remember
It
it.
was a pretty good feud.
Yeah. I remember it. I don't remember. I remember Diamond Dallas Page already being kind of over them, but apparently that helped him. I liked Diamond Dallas Page though. I like how he always had the taped ribs. He's always beat up.
Boy, did he. Like, him and Bob Orton with that cast. Like, they probably had the two longest injuries in history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that is going to do it for this week.
Yay! We made another show.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, if you liked anything, let us know in the comments below. On your way out, if you would hit the like button, that would help us out. If you hit the subscribe button, if you haven't already, that'll help us out. Don't forget to uh, share with any other wrestling fans that maybe agree or maybe disagree. And you let us know if you agree or disagree. But until next time, Top Guys, out.